What is this ISO IEC 17020 2026 version? This is an international standard defining inspection body competence and impartiality. Two important things: competence and impartiality of the inspection body. And to ensure that impartiality, consistency, and reliability of whatever inspection activity you are doing related to product, various processes, or even the standard you can now apply for services or any installation inspection. So friends, many of you might have misconception that this inspection is only for product, but that is not the case. The standard is applicable for four things: product, process, services, and installation. And it is developed under the ISO and IEC of CASCO framework. So this is the third edition of the standard, and two major things discovered across the standard when it was updated to 2026 version. Throughout the standard, many clauses, the risk-based thinking and implementation for risk-based approach is described, as well as technology-driven requirement. We are talking across the world that any inspection activity is now driven by AI and software and automated thing. So technology is important, and how to embed this technology in implementing this standard is described in this upgraded version. So next slide. So the key changes now, Mr. Nilesh Padaria, our Chief Technical Officer, will discuss with all of you. Over to you, Nilesh.
Yeah, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or good night to everyone. Say we are going to discuss the key changes which have been taken place in this 2026 version of ISO IEC 17020. The first and most important change they have done is related to the change in the independence type of the inspection agency. Say in earlier standard it was a type A inspection agency, type B and type C, but now it has been changed to type A and type non-A. Type A means totally independent inspection agency, and type non-A means it is involved in some of the processes of the production, design, development, etc. So this is the first change. The second change is related to the introduction of the risk-based thinking, means introduction of the risk assessment activities in the standard, which was not there in the earlier 2012 version. Then addition of some of the new subclauses. So say earlier the particular clause title review of the request, tenders and contracts was not available. It was a part of the standard, but there was no separate clause requirement. So now it has been introduced as a review of request, tenders and contracts whenever you receive the inspection request from the client. Second is related to the control of the data information. As we discussed, technology based and technology driven. So definitely we need to ensure control over the data and information which we are going to use during the inspection. Then the third is actions to address the risk and opportunity. As discussed in the clause number, there are two. Say the risk and opportunity, the total clause number 8.4 is introduced, which we have to taken care during the implementation. Then increase the alignment with the ISO IEC 17 series standard for the conformity assessment standards such as ISO 17025, 265, etc. So they have tried to align the clause numbering with the another 170 series standard. Change in the management system requirement. Say clause number 8 in 2026 edition includes the updated common element across the ISO IEC 17000 series. Then introduction of the modern technology governance in the inspection. In this 2026 edition, it recognized that the remote inspection, use of the digital tools, data handling, all it covers as AI tool, digital records and augmented reality and the remote verification. So that is additional part of this 17020 requirement. Then the impartiality and confidentiality requirement, which has been updated with relevant to the earlier version. So more clear and structured requirements are given under the impartiality and the confidentiality requirement. In the earlier standard, there was a two requirement, appeal and handling. Now it has been separated. So requirements for the handling of appeal and the complaints is modified for the more clarity and consistency during the implementation. Greater flexibility in the requirement for the processes, procedures, documented information, as well as the organizational responsibility related to implementation and maintenance of this 17020. Changes in terms of the definition clause 2. So new terms have been added and some of them are removed. Changes in the title reflecting cover of the wide range of inspection activities. So here the revised standard is titled as a conformity assessment requirement for the bodies performing the inspection.